synergy between various departments, right, or functions is very crucial for a smooth workflow. So how do you guys manage it, right, between a lot of departments that you guys have in order to ensure that smooth workflow? Clarissa, should we start with you? Ladies first.
Sure, ladies first, right? So with interdepartment, so I think companies everywhere that has a multi-division structure, every division would probably have their own interests, their own priorities, and their own goals. So the question of how we can synergize all of that together is really goes back to how the company as a business has a clear set of vision and mission in terms of direction. Because once that is stated, for us at Vision Plus, let's say we're a streaming service, our vision is basically quite straightforward. We aspire to become a regional competitive player in the OTT subscription-based premium entertainment industry. So having that said, I think that trickles down to the KPIs and the targets that we set, whether it's short, mid, or longer term. And that makes the decision process much more efficient and makes the workflow much more efficient as well because we have priorities set in place. So for instance, we do have our tech team. So between tech, UI, and product, we do have our sprint plannings. And with an X amount of resources, sometimes it's kind of difficult to prioritize some things and put things on the timeline. So we really need to put several elements and prioritize several elements in the pipeline and sacrifice some pushing back the deadline, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so while I have you here, now that you're creating a hyper-growth team, right? Any particular pitfalls to avoid that you want to share with the audience?
For pitfalls, okay, so hyper-growth is actually a very intimidating term for me. Hyper-growth in itself, I think it's a very attractive industry because you're growing at a scale that's very rapid, but in reality, 1/3 of hyper-growth companies fail, right?
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that we're all facing as hyper-growth companies. So for us, I think it's really having to be able to scale along with your team. So as your team scales in numbers, you need to be able to monitor your cost and also your capacity in terms of tech and software. So being able to always hedge between making the right investments and also finding solutions that are more cost effective in the long run, I think it's always that constant hedging between the two.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Mario, do you agree with Clarissa?
Yeah, totally. But I think there's another challenge, right? Because we are navigating in pandemic and now post-pandemic era. So different challenges on making sure everyone in the team is working towards the same goal. So I think that's the most important thing that everyone needs to manage. So the way we do it and the way I used to do it is making sure the data is transparent for everyone in the company, making sure everyone is aware of what metrics we are optimizing, make sure the visibility is there. If you need to force it, you force it. There's access to the dashboard, but not everyone wake up and open their dashboard every morning, right? So sometimes you need to screenshot the dashboard, share it to everyone, Slack, general ad channel every morning, making sure everyone understand what will be the priority of today. And that's very relevant in our case because we are a new startup. Things are scrappy, so many initiatives working, a dozen initiatives working at the same time. Making sure people are not forgetting why they are here and they are optimizing for the right metrics. And this is where tools with visibility to data is very important to startups. So not only the CRM tools that I think we are making conscious decision where if we decided to choose any tools that can help us manage our engagement with customers, we make sure that these tools can provide dashboard for everyone in the company.
Okay, and how does that smoothen your work, your internal synergies? Like you're saying, we screenshot and you share it with the team so that they're all in the same page. Okay, I guess that's the new age approach, right? Bayu, what about you?
Okay, so a bit unique the case on my side because Sinar Mas Land already a 50 years old company, right?
Yeah.
So the organization is already mature, the process already mature, KPI is there, right? So most of the people also working more than 10 years within the company and suddenly there's a new division digital business, right? So the biggest challenge is how to tailor the digital product into the current offline ecosystem, right? Because the value should be the digital product giving a value for the digital offline ecosystem, and the property side should get a value as well, or should giving value as well into our digital product. So those is the big challenge from my side actually. So I create one specific department which is focusing on integration into the current internal team, right? So this lady actually, they should present all the digital portfolio into the current organization. So we need to sell the product into external customer, but we also need to sell the product into our internal customer, and that is the harder part actually, right? So how we can help them the KPI, help them they process, and this department should know all the key stakeholder, the business process, the process flow within the company. So we do believe that the integration part is one of the key success part of the digital business.
Okay. And how is it that you educate your team internally, right? I mean, you have created such a centralized team, right? How do you make sure everyone's equally efficient?
Yep. So the combination of the team is very important, right? Of course, because we are the property developer, we are good on building a housing, or building apartment, right? But we are not good on building a technology, right? So we invite a lot of talent coming from outside, from startup, from technology company, but we combine with the current employee from current organization. So they are giving value each other.
Right.
So by having value each other, so from the tech company giving an insight, innovation on the technology, from the current employee, right, giving an insight on the key processes, key stakeholder. So by the blended process, it will be giving a most efficient way how to adopt the technology within the old organization.
Okay. Within the ecosystem, the whole
Yep,
ecosystem.
exactly.
All right. Thank you. Mario, so, I mean, you would have a mission and vision statement, right? Of course. Now, how do you make sure that, your employees go by it, right? I mean, what is it that you do, or what is it that you tell them on a daily basis that, makes them believe the same mission as you?
We celebrate the mission and the vision every day. So what we do is we set up. I think this is quite standard practice nowadays, that we set up like our own internal company culture. We make it points. There are 7 points of our internal company culture, and everyone who actually reflects, they're doing this one project, or they're helping our customers, or they're doing extreme collaboration with other departments that reflects our core values. We actually celebrate them. There's a communication channel specially created for that, where people just celebrating each other. And by the end of the month, we do competition actually. So whoever gets most shout out wins a prize.
Okay.
It
a great
was
idea.
like we created with a fun team at the beginning because we don't know what to do. But turns out during the feedback period, we found out that people really loved that, and they think that they really live by the company culture.
Okay, that's an interesting idea, like something out of the box, right? That maybe people here can learn from as well. So, thanks, by the way, Mario. Clarissa, so I mean, at Vision Plus, I mean, given the whole MNC, right? I'm sure there's a lot of departments, right? There are various departments. So, what does your organization structure look like, and how do you maintain an efficient team in each of these, in this organization, in the structure? Within the structure.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I forgot to add a context before that. We are a startup situated within a corporation that it's already very large in its own magnitude, right? So I think by having that said, there's a lot of tug and pull between having a startup culture and a corporation culture, because this is a medium corporation that's already been longstanding and is probably the biggest in the market. And the problem with the interdepartmental synergy doesn't stop there. It goes beyond just between departments. It goes beyond into business units. So like you said, as far as structure, we actually do have 2 production houses under us or in a line with us. So we have Vision Plus, and then we have Vision Pictures as a production house, and we have Cameo Project as a social media and a digital media platform. So each business unit does have its own teams, and that's where it gets kind of tricky to actually align everybody's goals and everybody's objectives. And for us, I think it's always going back to looking at what your organization needs. Because I believe that every corporation and every business has their own needs and gaps, and you need to be able to identify that. You need to structure your organization in a way that suits your needs, not the industries, not your competitors, but your needs. So what we did with our marketing team, with these 3 business units, we actually synergized them all. Instead of having one marketing team for each corporation, we actually did a synergy of heads. So we did one marketing independent team that will look over for these 3 business units, and that actually increased productivity for all of our 3 business units. So these are the things that you kind of have to like identify. It might not be conventional, it might be out of the box, but if it works, it will work for you.
Okay, I mean, as long as it works, right? So, Bayu, can you resonate with that, or how do you do it?
Yeah, building the digital business team in our current company is a bit tough as well, right? Because our team is just 2 years team, right? And then incubate the digital product also new things, right? Most of the people in the property side thinking, hey, this is a threat for them or no, right? So the biggest strategy is don't look at the macro strategy on the digital, but look at the quick win things, the tactical things, right? What is the KPI? And we create a platform or product that can help them KPI. For example, our first product is the real estate commerce. I think we are the only one property developer who having a real estate commerce for the entire company. It was so hard to get an adoption for this product, even though we do believe from tech side it can help our sales engine, right? Increase their leads, help them winning rate, right? So what we are doing is showing the result into the sales teams. How can this product can help them increase the leads, right? Increase the conversion rate, right? Once they can look at the number, hey, this is the impact, and it can help my KPI, because most of mature company, they really believe on the KPI, right? Once it can improve their KPI, help them their KPI, they will adopt the technology. So start from the quick win first, the tactical thing, and then get a belief, get a trust from the current organization, and then we can enhance more our product.
Okay, so it's all about the KPIs always.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and well, Mario, I mean, I know that, I mean, half of us here, like, due to the pandemic, we've worked a hybrid model, right? Some of us have worked from home for 2 years, and now we're doing the whole hybrid model. So how are you maintaining that, right, between work from home and work from office? Like, how are you still maintaining that whole synergy and that good work ethic?
I still don't have the answer. Returning to the hybrid setting is actually tougher than doing full remote work, because doing full remote work, you can actually manage your meeting schedule, and you can go up to 10 to 15 meetings per day. But doing hybrid with Jakarta traffic, wow, that's very challenging. So I think for us it's very clear. In my company right now in Kuncie, we have the operation team, the production team that help our mentors creating their product, and we have the tech and product team. So for the more tactical team, which is like operation and production, mainly they're doing their work in the offline setting. So for them, they're very mobile. They go wherever our mentor needs to produce their content. And for the tech and product team, default is still remote because it's more productive that way. But again, so we have to make sure that our main communication channel, in this case Slack, we use Slack, it's engaging for internal employees as well. And second is, again, the reminder of the culture that we have. So people don't forget that everyone here is for a cause. But if any of you guys already have the solution for the hybrid setting situation, please let me know.
We don't. Everyone's just winging it at this point. But you're making a really nice office, right? Isn't that
yes.
you mentioned?
We're setting up a base camp. We don't call it an office because it's supposed to be a fun place. It's a base camp. We're setting up one near Kemang, and it will be where. So our business is actually providing professional education for the professionals, and we connect mentors to the learners. We are setting up a space where mentor can do like offline event, they want to do gathering, community event, and in our base camp, we are setting up also a video production studios and a podcast production studio. So mentor who wants to shoot their materials, they want to record their learning materials, or they want to do podcasts live or recorded, they just come to the place and have fun. It's open 24/7.
And you mentioned you had a swimming pool and everything, right?
Not related, but yes.
Okay, awesome. So guys, if you need a swim in the middle of the work, please call Mario. So
I'll supply your
Clarissa,
office.
yes, she can do a podcast there as well. So Clarissa, I mean, for you guys, how was it? I mean, with so many, more than 100 plus employees, right? How do you manage the whole hybrid situation?
I think more or less, my situation is quite similar with Mario's. Some people are, they have to be in the office because the tech is there, the tools are there. But some people are also more mobile. They can work remotely or from anywhere. For Vision Plus, our case is quite funny because we actually started during the pandemic, so we didn't have a pre-COVID, what do you say that? Like, I don't know, we're not used to like working from the office because we're actually so used to working at home. But now the situation's going back to working from the office. And for me, honestly, and I've seen my team feel the same way, because there was, before as a corporation, I think everything has to be set in 9 to 5, sitting in your job, being a corporate slave, quote unquote. But after the pandemic, I think it actually really gives some light into how we as younger employees could actually be more mobile and work remotely. But we have to be accountable in some ways because I guess there are some people who aren't ready from working from home and they get flaky and we can't find them when we're trying to look for them. But more or less, I think it actually gives a positive implication to challenge the status quo and the tradition that is actually established in a lot of corporations. So.
And how do you manage the communication, right? Making sure that everyone is still there.
More or less, like Mario, still finding a good solution for all in all. We're actually now 100% back in the office.
Okay.
We're not working from home anymore. I think proximity really helps a lot, saves us a lot of meetings. So I actually do think there needs to be in-person meetings and in-person interactions because communication tools only can go so far. They only help facilitate, but they won't replace interpersonal exchanges, right? So it has to go hand in hand, and I think, yeah, the hybrid should actually be a continuous solution for us moving forward.
Okay. Bayu, what about for you? With 4,000 employees, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the organization, right?
Okay.
So, but my division is more to the small division within the organization. And lucky me that our office at BSD City and more than 50% of my team, they working, staying and living at BSD City.
Okay.
Right. So hybrid model is quite manageable in our team. So like myself, so my house is like 15-20 minutes walking distance from the office, just across the office.
Okay.
So everybody is staying there, working here, living there, right? So, but yes, for somebody who are living in Bogor or Jakarta area, they can do work from home like 4 days a week or 3 days a week. But the rest, most of them is coming to the office. Even it's a hybrid, session. But again, offline interaction is still much more efficient and effective, right? But how we can manage this offline session really optimal, that is very important.
Yep. I think pretty much same for us. We also, at More Engaged, we all remote, but there was no timing, right? This just goes way beyond 9 to 5. So I think that was also, I think Mario can agree with me. So do you guys have any questions for each other, by the way?
So to Bayu,
Okay.
question is,
Yes, boss.
you're building the ventures, right? You're in the vision. How do you how do you decide or how do you advise the ventures to actually choose the right platform? Do you play any roles in deciding, for example, More Engage on which venture should use with platform?
Okay.
And how do you negotiate with Saurabh in terms of the whole package?
So choosing the right platform, right? Choosing the right platform. So the mandate of my venture is not literally on the PropTech, right? But a city-centric driven platform. So before, the venture that we built or we invest is more to the PropTech property technology, but we expand the mandate into city-centric driven, which is what? Sinar Mas Land building an offline ecosystem, right? Our flagship model is BSD City. We have 6,000 hectare, which is 10% of Singapore area. And we have 450,000 population, day net population. They are resident there, there's a worker, employee, students, commuter, right? And choosing what is the problem statement for our stakeholder, and then we create the solution based on the problem statement, right? And giving value into all the stakeholders. So let's say even the laundry service is a problem statement, right? Home service is a problem statement, right? So we identified insight from the current residents and current stakeholder, and we choose the platform and we create the platform based on the pain point for our citizens.
Okay. And you make all the decisions?
Well, the decision is there's a lot of right? We have an IC, right? We have a group meeting, but how we can accommodate all the stakeholders.
Right.